space. Next door is a full-blown radio station. If you didn't know, Sarasota has its own radio station, completely volunteer run. So if you've ever had a dream to be on the radio, now's your chance. You could check in with them. We have all kinds of different programs, news programs, jazz programs, blues programs. I mean, literally, you name it. We have all kinds of different programming here. And it's all completely member-driven. So we thank you. Extra thank you to our special thank you to our members. Your support helps keep us going. And also our shows, and again, like the radio station next door, is also volunteer run. So we want to give a special thank tonight, like shows tonight, to our special volunteers who are helping to make it happen. All right, over here at the bar. Our young men checking you in at the door, all the tech, everything here you see. So we thank you to them. Like I said, we're right in the middle of our season where we have so many different shows. I think in January we had over 20-some shows. In February we have almost another 20 booked. And so we have all kinds of entertainment coming up, all kinds of different things: country, rock, Americana, award-winning blues, Celtic, gypsy, jazz. There will be a top finalist. She was a top finalist on the TV show The Voice will be here. We have a 90s singing, songwriting icon, an open mic night, and a Mardi Gras show. All kinds of stuff coming up over the next several months. But here's the deal. It sells out fast, and most of these shows do fill up very, very quickly. In fact, I think 8 or 9 of our very next upcoming shows are already sold out, or they may only have a handful of tickets left. So if you want to check out our schedule, you can check out the newspaper that is in the old school newspaper that's on your table there. In the middle section there, you can fold it out and you'll find a schedule. Or if you want to find us on our website, wslr.org, you can check out all of the great shows that we have coming up, and I encourage you to get your tickets early, get them quickly, because we know you guys like to sit together in your different spots, and so we don't want you to miss out on any shows that are coming up, because we have all kinds of stuff coming up. So I'm going to shut up, because for tonight we have 2 very special guests who are going to be joining us, and we're very, very excited here. Up first, fans of Guy Clark and Hayes Carll will enjoy his heartfelt approach and very well-crafted songwriting style. Let us please give a warm Fogartyville welcome to Mr. Kip Kelly.
How's everybody doing tonight? Guy Clark one time said that you're not supposed to ask people how they're doing. You're not supposed to care. I was down on my luck, down to my last buck, staring at the Vegas street lights, when I stopped at a table where a card girl named Mabel had been dealing blackjack all night. And I was down to the felt from the cards that she dealt. I tapped out and I stood up to leave when she gave me an ace with a smile on her face. They told me she had more up her sleeve. And she was the queen of my morning, and I was the king of her night. But I shouldn't have doubled down with the card girl who'd been around. She split on me when it was right. Now she took off from Boulder 'cause her daddy wouldn't hold her. But before she left, he taught her to play cards. And the skills that she learned helped her to earn, but guaranteed her life would be hard. And so she drove out to Vegas, and that took 2 Winnebagos. One broke down outside Cheyenne, but she found her another off the friend of her brother. She beat with Big Slick in her hand. And she was the queen of my morning, and I was the king of her night. But I shouldn't have doubled down with a card girl who'd been around. She split on me when it was right. She said she needed some muscle to pull off a hustle. So she grabbed me and we walked out the door. We played poker, Keno at the locals casino till the pit boss couldn't take any more. And we went back to my room to count up the loot after a stop at the all-night buffet. And we fell down together, it felt like forever, but bad luck was a-coming my way. 'Cause she was the queen of my morning, and I was the king of her night. But I shouldn't have doubled down with the card girl who'd been around. She split on me when it was right. Well, now, friends and neighbors, I hope I don't belabor the point of singing this here song. When I woke from my sleep with a smile that ran deep, she and the money were gone. She was the queen of mums, the king of her night. But I shouldn't have doubled down with the card girl who'd been around. She split on me when it was right. She split on me when it was right. She split on me when it was right. Oh, thank you so much. My name's Kip Kelly. I write songs about people that I love, places I love, things that I love. And this one here is no exception. My mom, she used to, I'm from Northwest Indiana originally. I've been here. Hey, all right, we got some Hoosiers. That's great. I've been down here about 20 years, so I'm kind of feel like I'm maybe a Floridian now. But she used to come down. She had this Chevy pickup truck, this little Chevy S10 black pickup truck, and she would pack it with a bunch of shit that I didn't want. And she would pride herself on how perfectly she could pack the bed of the truck. And it was just my sister, my mom, and I growing up, and we didn't have very much. I remember one time I came home from school, and I had bedroom furniture for the very first time. That was a big deal. I got a headboard, I remember, and I got this big bookshelf. I remember my sister I got a desk, and I was kind of pissed about that because I thought that was the coolest piece, but she was older, so she got kind of dibs on that. But I got this thing that my mom told me was called a high boy, which I'd never heard of before, but it's basically a dresser. It's had a cabinet up top, and it had 3 dresser drawers below it. And I mostly remember that high boy because I used to steal baseball cards when I was a kid, and I would hide them in there. But on one of these trips in her truck, she had this high boy that I had when I was little, and she pulled into my driveway, and we pulled it out off the back of the truck, and we put it right there in the middle of my garage, and it sat there for about 3 years. And during that time, she passed away, and it came time that I had to clean my garage out, and I really didn't want to because I remembered that day that we took it off the truck, but it was time. And so I moved that dresser off to the side of the garage. I stood there, and I looked at it for a little while. I thought about all that it stood for and all that my mom had to sacrifice to fill it for me when I was little. And I come up with this song. It's called The Dresser. In my garage, there's a sturdy old dresser Mom bought when I was a kid. Used to protect all of the things that she bought me and hide all the things that I hid. The top drawer, it had no jewelry. Its value was greater than gold, filled with the love that she gave me and the lessons from the stories she told. The next drawer had the clothes that she bought me with all of the money she lacked. The last drawer could never be empty, 'cause that had the shirt off her back. Well, I'd ride my bike to the old Ben Franklin, the local 5 and dime. Baseball cards sold at 8 packs $1. Sometimes I would take 9. And I'd hide those cards in that sturdy old dresser and hope that nobody heard. But she'd find 'em and put 'em right where I could see 'em without ever saying a word. The top drawer, it had no jewelry. Its value was greater than gold, filled with the love that she gave me and the lessons from the stories she told. The next drawer had the clothes that she bought me with all of the money she lacked. The last drawer could never be empty, 'cause that had the shirt off her back. Now when I look at that sturdy old dresser, I think of those days and those nights, and how it was used to teach me the difference between what is wrong and what's right. And though she's gone and she can't tell her stories, no longer walking this earth, I still feel her love and she's still giving lessons without ever saying a word. The top drawer, it had no jewelry. Its value was greater than gold, filled with the love that she gave me and the lessons from the stories she told. The next drawer had the clothes that she bought me with all of the money she lacked. The last drawer could never be empty, 'cause that had the shirt off her back. Oh, thank you so much. As for Kel, my mom decided that she wanted to be called by her last name, so it was Kel. But she was a really cool lady. She rode a Harley, and she grew weed in our backyard. Yeah, I don't know how it went down in your small towns, but when your moms grew weed in the yard, but in Highland, Indiana, plainclothes police officers come with big, large black garbage bags, and they pick the garden clean, and nobody gets in trouble. So I got 2 kids. My daughter, Claire, is a freshman in college now at UF. And my son, is really proud of her. And my son is a senior in high school. And when they were real little, I used to sing to them at bedtime. I would bring my guitar and I'd sit at the edge of the bed. And there for a little while, my daughter and I were trying to write a song together. And I had like the first line of the song, and then I couldn't come up with anything. And so it was like 2 or 3 nights in a row. I came in with the guitar, sat down, and I sang that first line, and then we would say, and something, 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 and nothing came. And so I thought, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna table this one. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write a verse like every 10 years. And so by the time she's like 30, I'll finish the song, and maybe it's like a big day for her, like her wedding or something like that. I'll finish the song and I will sing it to the unsuspecting reception crowd, steal the show from the bride on her big day. Everyone will think what a great guy Dad is. But I love her way too much to do anything like that. And as I sing it these days, I think about how a lot of what I wrote about kind of came to pass over the years. But I'm missing her right now up in Gainesville, so I'm going to sing this one for you. It's called For Claire. You came to us just before Sunday morning, sooner than we expected you to be. And when I looked below to count your fingers and toes, I wondered what you'd expect from me. 'Cause before you, no one ever called me daddy, and no one ever stole my heart away. But then you came along and helped me write my song. It's been you and me since that day. We'll go outside and dance each time it's raining. I'll teach you how to catch and throw a ball. And when those boys get you down or knock you to the ground, I'll be the softest place for you to fall. 'Cause before you, no one ever called me daddy, and no one ever stole my heart away. But then you came along and helped me write my song. It's been you and me since that day. I know the time will come for you to leave, dear, but don't you be upset or shed a tear. Remember all the good, I did the best I could, and know that when you need me, I'll be here. 'Cause before you, no one ever called me daddy, and no one ever stole my heart away. But then you came along and helped me write this song. It's been you and me since that day. It's been you and me every day. Oh, thank you so much. We have any grandfathers here in the crowd tonight? Come on, Sarasota. My dad called me a couple years ago. He's actually called me since then, but a couple years ago he called me. It was the day after Thanksgiving, and back home, that usually means winter's coming, and it ain't good. Sometimes we'll get this little bitty 2 or 3 day southern wind that will be kind of warm, and maybe you might get out and play around a golf or something. But once that's over, it's going to be you're hunkering down. And my dad, he's from Kentucky originally, and he liked to get out on his riding lawnmower and cut the grass and get out in the yard a lot. And so when the wintertime comes, he's got to kind of lock up, and he didn't like it. I know that. So when he called me, it was the day after Thanksgiving. I asked him how he was doing, and he was struggling. And he said, so I got his older sister, and she's got two boys. And he said, hell, I think without those 2 boys, I'd just fade away. Which I thought was an incredibly sad thing to say, but I also thought, well, hell, I think I can make a song out of that. So I did. This is called... Fade away. Winter is coming, nights will be long. The skies will be gray and the crops are all gone. Yeah, winter is coming, grass to be cut. The wind will be howling and the doors are all shut. But I got a daughter and she's got 2 sons. And as long as they're running, there's work to be done. Yeah, I don't go to church, sometimes I pray. And I still carve the turkey on Thanksgiving Day. But my days are now short and I'm too tired to play. And without those 2 boys, I'd just fade away. Yeah, we head to the country in my pickup truck. I'll teach them a few things with any luck. Yeah, we head to the field for wheeling and such. But I mostly watch them, I don't ride much. But I get a kick out of watching those boys growing up in the men, still playing with toys. Yeah, I don't go to church, sometimes I pray. And I still carve the turkey on Thanksgiving Day. And my days are now short and I'm too tired to play. And without those 2 boys, I'd just fade away. Yeah, if they move on when they're fully grown, well, I hope that they're lucky to have boys of their own. And if I ain't here when that day comes, I hope they remember all the hard work I've done. Yeah, I don't go to church, sometimes I pray. And I still carve the turkey on Thanksgiving Day. But my days are now short and I'm too tired to play. And without those 2 boys, I'd just fade away. Yeah, without those 2 boys, I'd just fade away. Thank God for those boys, or I'd just fade away. Oh, thank you so much. Had time for a couple more. I'm the proud owner of the Crooked Thumb Brewery up in Safety Harbor, Florida. Yeah, if you guys are, our chili cook-off is tomorrow if you're looking to stay warm in this cold weather. It'll be 10 years that we're open, and we've been open in October. And it was so close to not happening. I way got over my skis in the planning. It was way underfunded, and I owed people. And I went home to Indiana, and somebody came through for me, big time. And so I wrote him a song as payment. I mean, I have to really pay him back, but the song, I think, bought me some time. Well, he wears white socks with white tennis shoes. He picked up his life the day he put down the booze. He'll stand by you until the end. And as the years go by, I'm proud to call him my friend. He's my old man. He did the best he can. He never said too much. He spoke with his two hands. He worked an honest job for honest pay. And part of me will die the day that he goes away. He's my old man. Well, he had bad knees, just like I do. The doctor told him to replace them one at a time, and he said, hell, let's do two. He doesn't waste his time. He likes to get shit done. And when it rains, I'm reminded that I'm his only son. And he is my old man. He did the best he can. He never said too much. He spoke with his two hands. He worked an honest job for honest pay. And part of me will die the day that he goes away. He's my old man. Well, he raised some hell when he was a kid. And only once did he raise his hand, when I did. And now his hair is gray, at least what's left of it. And though he's slowing down, I know there ain't no quit in my old man. He did the best he can. He never said too much. He spoke with his two hands. He worked an honest job for honest pay. And part of me will die the day that he goes away. He's my old man. You know, one of the earliest memories I have of my dad is he had a 1971 Chevy Impala. I remember it was blue, and it had a bench seat in the front, and an AM radio, and absolutely no air conditioning. And we would drive down Indianapolis Boulevard in Whiting, Indiana. My sister and I would stand in the front seat of the car while we rode. And I remember we were so little that even though we were standing, we couldn't hit our heads on the roof of the car. And I remember the seat was filthy dirty, probably from our bare feet. But we would listen to the country music on the AM radio, with Tom T. Hall and Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard and old George Jones. Listen to WJJD or WMAQ. And I remember WMAQ had our giveaway, where if they called you and you answered the phone and said, WMAQ is going to make me rich, they'd give you $99. And I remember thinking, what do we need $99 for? That was my old man. He did the best he can. He never said too much. He spoke with his 2 hands. He worked an honest job for honest pay. And part of me will die the day that he goes away. That's my old man. Oh, thank you so much. He's still kicking. Oh, all right. Yeah, he's still around. He just bought a place up in Safety Harbor, so he's gonna get away from those winters. I'm gonna do one more song for you. Thank you guys so much. You guys have been an amazing audience. Thanks to Fogartyville and WSLR, Joe Pug. You know, I go to Texas a couple times a year, and they got tons of places where you can kind of just play to people, and they listen, and they really respect the song, and they want to hear the stories and all that, but we don't have a whole lot of that here in Florida, so when you find a place that's great like this, you know, you got to cherish it and protect it. So thank you guys for coming out and supporting the station and the live original music, too. A couple years ago, my kids and I, we went to the wine festival up in Safety Harbor, and each of my kids got helium balloons. And I remember I told my kids, like, make sure you guys hold on to these balloons. I don't know if you've ever seen a kid when they lose a helium balloon or a balloon pops at a party. They're absolutely devastated, and I just could not deal with that. So they did a great job. Both kids, they hung on very, very well to the balloons until we got to the car. And I had a 20-minute car ride home, and just before we got in the car, my son's balloon blew away. And he was predictably devastated. And I felt terrible. He started crying, but it wasn't his fault. Like, he held on to the ribbon, his part, but whoever tied the other part of the ribbon to the balloon part didn't do nearly as good of a job. And so the balloon blew away, and this ribbon kind of draped over his little bony forearm, and he couldn't process it. So I let him cry for about 10 minutes. And then I was outside. Enough. It's time for Dad to impart some wisdom here. And so I thought, you know, it's time to maybe give you a little lecture about learning to let go of things. And so I did that for a little while, and then as a good parent, you can't lecture just one child and let the other child get away scot-free. So I had to pull her into the conversation too. And I said, and you know, you learn to, like, take some chances and be bolder. And so I was a couple weeks later, I was out at the marina in Safety Harbor, and it was a particularly windy day, and I was thinking of that balloon blowing away, and I thought about those 2 lessons that I was teaching my kids, and I thought, shit, those are lessons that I need to learn. It's funny how parenting reveals that to you. I'd been dealing with my mom passing, and I thought, okay, it's time for me to kind of get it right, and this idea of letting it fly occurred to me, which I thought captured both of those lessons. So I come up with this song. It's called Let It Fly. Thank you again for letting me play for you all. Appreciate it. A young boy came to me. He said, Dad, can you help me? Stand by my side. My new balloon, you see, it might fly away from me if I go outside. Well, give your hand to me and I'll tie it so carefully it won't blow away. But if it should, do not cry. All that we find in life we give back someday. So let it fly, let it fly. It's easier said than done, I won't deny. Let it fly, let it fly. It's how we reach for new heights and we say goodbye. A young girl came to me, she said, Daddy, can you help me? I'm too scared to try. Whatever's been asked of you, and whether you win or lose, it's for you to decide. But But if it were up to me, I'd do it so faithfully and no other way. So chest out and chin up high, 'cause things you let pass you by will haunt you someday. Now let it fly, let it fly. It's easier said than done, I won't deny. Let it fly, let it fly. It's how we reach for new heights and we say goodbye. A woman came to me, she said, "Son, can you help me? I'm just too tired. It's not gonna be too long. Will you please play me a song that I've long admired?" Well, how's my life gonna be? You've always been there for me each step of the way. Said, take the love you have for me and share it with all you see every day. And just let it fly, let it fly. It's easier said than done, I won't deny. Let it fly, let it fly. It's how we reach for new heights and we say goodbye. Thank you. Let it fly, everybody.
All right, one more time. Let's give it up for Kip Kelly, everyone. All right. We're going to take about a 10, 15-minute break. If you would like to visit the bar or use the restroom, we'll be right back with Mr. Joe Pug.
Me and my best friend Lillian and her blue tick hound dog Gideon, sitting on the front porch, cooling in the shade, singing every song the radio played, waiting for the Alabama sun to go down to red dirt girls in a red dirt town. Me and Lillian, just across the line in a little southeast of Meridian. Loved her brother, I remember back when he was fixing up a 49 and in. He told her little sister, gonna ride the wind up around the moon and back again. Never got farther than Vietnam. I was standing there with her when the telegram come. Lily, now he's lying somewhere about 1,000,000 miles from Meridian. Red dirt town, gonna make a joyful sound. She grew up tall and she grew up thick, buried that old dog Gideon by a crave myrtle bush at the back of the hill. daddy turned mean and her mama leaned hard. Got in trouble with a boy in town. Figured that she might as well settle down, so she dug right in. Across the red dirt line, just a little southeast of her. Yeah, she tried hard to love him, but it never did take. It was just another wave of the heart to break, so she learned to bend. One thing they don't tell you about the blues when you got 'em, keep on falling, 'cause there ain't no bottom, there ain't no end. At least not for me. Nobody knows when she started her skid. She was only 27 and she had 5 kids. Could have been the whiskey, could have been the pills, could have been the dream she was trying to kill. But there won't be a mention in the news of the world about the life and the death of a red dirt girl named Lily. Who never got any further across the line than moved on. Now the stars still falling down Alabama. Tonight she finally lay that hammer down without a sound in the red dirt ground. Thank you.
Say things to me like a cowgirl would. I do tricks for you like a cowboy should. You look romantic laying in the hay. I need you tonight in a new kind of way. When you look at me with those eyes, it makes me start to fantasize. Do it to me like I know you could, so I can do it to you, baby, like a Texan should. Oh, riding the range, I think of you. I dig your chili, you know it's true. Oh, I make big money, put it in the bank. That longhorn cat has got a great big tank. Do it to me like I know you could, so I can do it to you, baby, like a Texan should. Oh, you're the kind of woman who's above the rest. Well, nothing for me but the best. You say you need a fella who really can do it to you good like a Texan man. wardrobe of cowboy clothes. Top of my head to the tip of my toe. Oh, you look so good in my hat with fringe on it. So put on my boots, doggone it. Do it to me like I know you could. I do it to you like a Texan should. Oh, do it to me, baby, like I know you could. So I can do it to you, baby, like a Texan should. Oh, that's right, baby. Come here, ride that pony across the spread. You're a good little partner. That's right, baby. Come on. You know there ain't but one man for you, and that's me. Like a good Texan shoe. I love it. That's it. That's it. Woo! Now do the Cotton Eye Joe. Now two-step right over here. Oh, wait. Put those boots back on.
Hey, pretty baby, are you ready for me? Yeah, it's your good rockin' daddy down from Tennessee. I'm just out Austin, bound for San Antonio, with the radio blasting and the bird dog on. There's a speed trap up ahead in Selma town, but no local yokel gonna shut me down. Cause me and my boys got this rig unwound, and we'll come 1,000 miles from a guitar jam. Nothing ever happened around my hometown. I ain't kinda just hang around. But I heard someone calling my name one day, and I followed that voice down a lost highway. Everybody told me you can't get far on $37 in a Jap guitar. Now I'm smoking into Texas with a hammer down and a rockin' little combo from a guitar town. Hey, pretty baby, don't you know it ain't my fault? I love to hear the steel bells humming on the asphalt. Wake up in the middle of the night in a truck stop, stumble in a restaurant, wonder why I don't stop. Well, I gotta keep rocking while I still can. Got a 2-pack habit and a Motel 10. When my boots hit the boards, I'm a brand new man. With my back to the riser, make my stand. Hey, pretty baby, won't you hold me tight? I'm loading up and rolling out of here tonight. One of these days I'm gonna settle down and I'll take you back with me to the guitar town.
All right, everybody, we're going to get started here shortly. As you are wrapping up your break, please sure to hit up the bar if you'd like to, or the restroom. Want to make you aware of a few upcoming shows that we have. On February 12th, that's a Wednesday night, we have Ben Cosgrove, a multi-instrumentalist composer who's performed all over. He studies themes of landscape, geography, and environment. It's going to be a lot cooler than it might sound right there, I promise you. It's going to be very exciting. Come check that out on Wednesday, February 12th at 7 p.m. We also have Liana Gable, who's a tap dancing extraordinaire and Americana artist. She's been with us before. We're very excited to have her back. She'll also have local artist Matt Ragas opening for her, if you know him. Some exceptional talent. And again, check out WSLR.org. You can check out our whole schedule of events of everything we have coming up, because I'm not joking. We have all kinds of genres, way too many to bore you with right now. But you can check that out. You can get tickets there. If you're also interested in becoming a member, you can check that out. Membership has its privileges. You get things like discounts on tickets. There's also a bar discount here at the shows. And you also get insider information as to when shows drop early. So you do want to take advantage of that because a lot of times you can find out about shows and get tickets before everyone else. So check out WSLR.org. 96.5, you can tune in locally. You can also listen from around the globe, so you don't just have to be here in Sarasota to listen to our awesome radio station. You can check that out. So, for the second half of our show this evening, we're very excited. He is a singer-songwriter with many critically acclaimed albums, a deep touring history, and is the creator and host of the popular podcast, The Working Songwriter. Making his Fogartyville debut on our stage, let's please give a warm welcome to Mr. Joe Pug.
Another big round of applause for Kip Kelly opening up the show. You know, I will say, and I'm not going to complain, is this mic on? No. Doug, any luck with this? I will say, when I booked these shows in July of this year, my plan was that I would go on the road to work while my wife and children froze at home. And I would come to the balmy shores of Florida, and it has not really lived up to that. I played Jacksonville yesterday. I forced myself to go for a walk on the sandy beaches. It didn't quite work out. But, hey, yeah. Is this mic working? This one is. Should I play the first song here? All right. Well, don't worry, everybody. I'm a professional. And we're going to try the first one sitting down. That sound like a plan? It's good now? It's good now. I just sat down, so I'll start here. That my enemies are slow, that my fevers are weak, that my lessons don't hurt, that my medicine is sweet, that these days are not the pearls, and I am not the swine, that faithful's not a word, that I cannot define, that I find my will to fight, that I lose my taste for drink, and if that's too much to ask, that my hangovers are brief, that while we're here on earth, I can keep the difference hid between what I should have done and what I really did. That my children live out stories they can tell around a fire, that they could recognize beauty, that they could recognize a liar, that their innocence remains, that they never question my love, that they work to build cathedrals they won't live to pray inside of, that our better angels sing of peace instead of war, that the pistol's close at hand when the wolf is at the door, that the plot never thickens, the other shoe never drops, that the age of grace begins when the age of reason stops. That It feels just like a memory when my father calls me home, like I'm racing under streetlights, back to dinner on the stove, that there's a candle in my window, that there's roses on my grave, from those that I befriended, from those that I betrayed, that the three men I admire the most never caught that last train for the coast, that the music never died, that the levee wasn't dry. We might be east of Eden, but we're heading west tonight. Well, I heard the news this morning, and my hope will never end, that you found heaven quick from here in Baltimore, my friend. Thank you. Thank you. What is good will never change. You can lie and say it does. You can overturn a statue. You can drag it through the mud. Far above this broken city, there's a beauty that remains. What is lost won't be forgotten. What is good will never change. No matter where you wandered off to, or how far afield you strayed, underneath the heavy ocean, deep inside a rotten cave, still you sing a song that's holy, still you burn a perfect flame. What is lost won't be forgotten. What is good will never change. Far above this broken city, there's a beauty that remains. What is lost won't be forgotten. What is good will never change. What is lost won't be forgotten. What is good will never change. Thank you. I am the day, I am the dawn, I am the darkness coming on. And I'm once, I am twice, I am the whole, I'm just a slice. Some call me gone, some call me here, none are wrong, none are near. I am right now, I am back then, I will return, don't ask me when. I
am the disappointed kiss. I am the unexpected harvest. I am the old Kentucky home. I am the son who runs the farthest. I have done wrong, I will do wrong. There's nothing wrong with doing wrong. And I am faith, I am belief, except for when I'm not. I am the teeth of champions. I am rust and water rock. And I am sleep, I am breathing, I'm the missing of the passing seasons. I am the brush, I am the strokes, I'm sickness come to the best folks. I am renewed, I am just made, I am unchanged. I'm a pasture wrapped around a fence. I am Dakota thunder raging. And by my shoes and by my feet and by my soul and wonder, I am the tracks we've laid above. I am the tunnel running under. Thank you. Thanks very much. Thank you. Well, God bless all of you for coming out to the Old Folk Show in the year 2025. Makes you all profoundly strange people in the best way possible. I guess if we're going to talk about strange people, though, stranger still is me playing the folk show for a living in the year 2025. It kind of feels like I'm like someone doing vaudeville theater in the year 1978 or something like that. You know what I mean? But I think the reason that I do this for a living, though, I know, in fact, it's because of how I grew up. I was raised by a hippie. Yeah, my dad was a hippie. My dad is a hippie still. He's holding on strong to those hippie ways. And I'm very close with my dad. I always was. Gave me a great childhood. The only drawback, only difficult part about being raised by a hippie is very difficult to figure out how to rebel. Maybe that's why I'm up here dressed like an ATF agent right now. I don't know. You gotta get it where you can find it. You know what I mean? So, I wrote a song years ago, trying to solve this paradox for myself, and still helps me out now. This song is called "I Do My Father's Drugs." When the party starts on Monday and Christmas starts in June, when no one minds, I just arrived and I'll be leaving soon. If I return with eyes half open, don't ask me where I was. I do my father's drugs. When every revolution is sponsored by the state, there's no bravery in bayonets, in tearing down the gates. If you see me with a rifle, don't ask me what it's for. I fight my father's wars. When hunger strikes a fashion and freedom is routine, when all the streets in Cleveland are named for Martin Luther King, you will see me at the protest, but you'll notice that I drag. I burn my father's flag. So when the party starts on Monday and Christmas starts in June, when no one minds I just arrived and I'll be leaving soon, if I return with eyes half open, don't ask me where I was. I do my father's drugs. I do my father's drugs. Thank you. Thank you. Do I know that face, or is it just the light? Did I hold your hand in another life? I worn many coats just to brave the wild. I've been 1,000 men, I've been a single child. Look out, Desdemona, your father saw you smile. Well, yes, I know that laugh is the credits fade, and from the way I bleed, I believe I know that blade. I hope my dying words, they keep you awake like a golden rule that you just can't obey. Look out, Desdemona, you're not too young to pay. Well, I know your secrets. I thought I could keep it, but now I know that I can't. Do you see that moon? Do you see those stars? They have never changed. I have strayed so far, the light just lays itself on your long white neck as it softly did on the night we met. Look out, Desdemona, this is all we get.
Look out, Desdemona, this is all we get. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I've been waiting all night for you to look my way. I've been playing with a fire that I can't explain. And I know that you're here with him, with a necklace and a feeling that you can't admit. He drives a dark car, no hard rebel with a gold card. I'm here waiting on the Crescent Bridge. She's a true bride, bright side, parliaments and brown eyes. I'm here waiting on the Crescent Bridge. You can redirect a river, you can catch the rain. You can build yourself a palace on the fruited plain. And I know you can touch the moon, but your stomach's always empty with a silver spoon. He drives a dark car, no heart rebel with a gold card. I'm here waiting on the Crescent Bridge. She's a true bride, bright side, parliaments and brown eyes. I'm here waiting on the Crescent Bridge. Hey! I'm here waiting. I'm here waiting. Thank you. Thanks very much. I put out a record last year, a new record called Sketch of a Promised Departure in March, and even in this day and age, with everything that's changed with music, you still follow the pattern. When an album comes out, you put out something called a single. Obviously, the idea for a single is you want to put out the most immediately accessible song on the album so that you can hook people into it. So that's what we did with the label. We put out the song that we thought would hook people in the most accessible song in the album. And what I'd like to do for you tonight, now that you're kind of a captive audience, is I'd like to play the least accessible song on the entire record. It's for a friend of mine. Maybe you have someone like this in your life. Maybe this has happened to you. It's a friend of mine. We grew up together, had very similar lives, similar families, similar everything. And then when we went our separate ways as we got older, my life went one way, and his went another way that really went off the rails and went pretty tragically, as you'll hear in the song. And when I was younger, I would have ascribed that to me making great choices and being a hell of a guy, and him really screwing up. And but the older I get, and we do have agency in this world, of course, but the older I get, I just realize it's a lot better to be lucky than it is to be good. You know what I mean? And you need a lot of grace to get through things, and that's what my friend John's life taught me. So
This song is called Brother John. There was a friend I had, we called him Brother John. It was many heavy years ago now. He had a poet's heart and a painter's touch, was more honest than the word would allow. The rest of us grew up and made our compromise, but he was never one to play that game. He was caught between a cold machine and an everlasting flame. Caught between a cold machine and an everlasting flame. We used to smoke on the side of the railroad tracks and tell jokes that we shouldn't have told, until the powers that be locked us all in a room with a confession that we couldn't withhold. They said you can save your friends or you can save yourself. You know you really ought to be ashamed. We were caught between a cold machine and an everlasting flame. I moved away too young into a violent town, chased a dream that I shouldn't have chased. John moved to St. Augustine and worked the door at a shot and beer place. I think he fell in love with a world he dreamed that in reality never became. He was caught between a cold machine. Hey, they say he had a right to choose. His life was not just his to lose. Now that he's gone, meanwhile some shallow man in a far-off town dragged us all down a slippery slope. And the doctor's brand new miracle cure was just good old-fashioned dope. They say the road to hell is like a Sunday walk until the devil gets to know your name. Then you're caught between a cold machine and an everlasting flame. Now there's a silver stream of water in the street, about a block from where his body was found. And the children laugh and sing their songs as the summer starts to wind itself down. But I see Johnny's face as I close my eyes, more than our time together can explain. Like a slow refrain, he was caught between a cold machine. Hey, 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 he was. Thank you. Thank you. From the dark wells comes pure clean water, and the ice will melt as the day gets hotter and the night grows old. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'd like to play you guys a song now that I wrote for my wife, actually, but it's not a love song, as you're soon to hear. It was written on the occasion of her and I having a very profound disagreement with one another. Blowout fight, look out. And we don't really get into it that much. Her and I have been together for a long, long time, and we don't fight that much, but when we do fight, we get into it. And this particular fight, we could not resolve. We could not make amends. We could not compromise in any way because I was absolutely right. And but I was doing a horrible job in conversation of articulating why, and she was doing a pretty good job on her end. I'm not gonna lie. So I got myself out of the conversation. I thought to myself, how am I gonna get this through to her? Because I'm not doing it in conversation. Then I thought, you know what? The medium is the message. And I have been making a living for 15 years communicating via song. So maybe if I put my message in a song, it'll better get across. So I sat down, I wrote this. This is my attempt to describe to my wife how I view the nature of our domestic reality. And this song is called, I Don't Work in a Bank. I don't work in a bank. They're not my beans to count. If you want proof when I go broke, no one will bail me out. Don't ask me where I'm going. Don't ask how much I drank. If you want answers, that's just fine, but I don't work in a bank. Oh, well, I don't work in a bank, and you knew that when we met. So put that dress back on the rack and live with your regret. You don't get to taste the top shelf when your bottom line is blank. Say it's private stock, public school. I don't work in a bank. Oh, I don't work in a bank. That was fine when I was a kid, but the awful truth I've learned, things be much better if I did. Yeah, I ended up with short change, just myself to thank, 'cause the world's a giant spinning coin, and I don't work in a bank. Thank you. What's that? Did it work? I haven't played it for her yet, but it's all about timing, you know what I mean, for things like that. I think the best time to do it would actually be Sunday when I get home to Maryland after she's been alone with our 3 children under the age of 8 for the last 4 days while I've been in Florida doing my art. That'll be the time to lay it on her. I'll live stream it, let you know how it goes. I was born into a circus, but I ran off to join a home. Oh, they said that I was worthless, that my family died unknown. So it gets and so it goes, that's what you get, I suppose, for wanting something more than a life of walk and roll. All the Christians left behind at the crossroads of your town, Oh, they're playing truth or dare 'neath the sanctuary now. Some wish they had the truth, some wish they had to go, but there ain't no sense in leaving from the only game you know. Oh, I know how good you are, how hard it is, how good you are. There's a butler in your hallway. He is troublesome and old. He repeats the word of life to describe your family gold. You ask him please to go, but there's one thing you don't know. He carved April 7th, 65 into the side of your piano. Oh, I know how good you are, how hard it is, how good you are. Everything that you were meant for, everything that you were born to do, does not need you to do it. Someone else was born to do it too. Now, like a half-grown man, you barely learn how to stand. If you shut up with what you're chosen, you'll hear something choosing you. Oh, I know how good you are, how hard it is, how good you are. Thank you. Thanks. I want to play you a song now that I did not write, and I want to play you a song that someone else wrote because the songwriter of this song is no longer around to play it himself. And I love American music. I would guess if you're spending your Friday night in the year 2025 listening to original music, you love American music too. And I love any format of listening to it. I love listening to it on Spotify, on a record, whatever. I still think the most important way to listen to music is in a room with other people. I do have skin in the game there. It benefits me financially greatly when that happens. But beyond that, though, you know, it's like there's some songs that deserve to keep on being played in little nightclubs and community centers and theaters and amphitheaters and stadiums. They got to keep on being played there in real life. It's what makes a musical culture. What makes a nation, what makes a people. And so it's important to me that songs like the one I'm about to play right now keep on getting played in real life. This song doesn't really need my help. I'm about to play you a song by the late, great John Prine right now. Yeah. So you'll see. This song doesn't need any of my help, but I want to hear it keep on getting played. I love John Prine. I never met him, although I will say I think I hold the distinction as the person who never met John Prine who came the closest on most occasions. I got really close to meeting him many times. He was a hero of mine. And the closest I ever got was he had a record label in Nashville called Oh Boy Records, still around now. It's a great record label. And when I was first getting started, when I was 24 years old, someone at the label heard my little demo tape, and they told me to come on down to Nashville because they wanted to talk about a record deal. So I thought I was going to get to meet John Prine, right? But turns out Prine wasn't really that involved with the label, and his longtime manager ran the label. And this is a guy, rest his soul as well, he's no longer with us. His name was Al Bonetta. And I don't know why I was expecting something different from John Prine's man. I was expecting kind of like a country guy. Al was like an Italian from Jersey who he didn't get into the music business. He was like, I didn't get in the music business. I got into the entertainment business. Before John Prine, my client before him was a roller skating chimpanzee. And it was. Like, I've told this story before, and I've thought to myself, like, that can't be right. You shouldn't tell that on stage. And I've looked it up, and he managed a roller skating chimpanzee. And he told me when I went down for that meeting with him, Al told me, he said, I heard John Prine play Sam Stone, and I fired the chimp the next day. And so we had a crazy time down there. We didn't end up signing with old Al Bonetta. Al Bonetta was like an old school music business guy, like old school, where he'd be like, I will take all of your intellectual property in perpetuity throughout the universe for $20,000. Does that work for you? And, I remember I was working for $15 an hour at the time building houses, and $20,000 seemed like a lot of money to me. But even me at that time, I was like, that doesn't sound like enough money for what you're offering me. So we didn't sign. When we didn't sign, the carrot that was being dangled in front of me was getting to meet John Prine. So didn't get to do it. But I feel like I did meet him because I listened to his record so much. I love him so much. So if you put a gun in my head and asked me to pick my favorite John Prine song, it'd be tough. But I think I might pick this one. When I was a boy, my family would travel down to western Kentucky where my parents were born. There's a backwoods old town that is often remembered so many times that my memories are worn. And Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? Well, I'm sorry, my son, much too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train is hauled it away. Sometimes we would travel right down the Green River to the abandoned old prison down by Adrie Hill, where the air smelled like snakes and we'd shoot with our pistols. But empty pop bottles was all we would kill. And Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? Well, I'm sorry, my son, much too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train is hauled it away. Then the coal company came with the world's largest shovel, and they tortured the timber and they raped all the land. Yeah, they dug for their coal till the land was forsaken, and they wrote it all down as the progress of man. And Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? Well, I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train is hauled it away. When I die, let my ashes flow down the Green River. Let my soul roll on up to the Rochester Dam. I'll be halfway to heaven with paradise waiting, just 5 miles away from wherever I am. And Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? Well, I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train is hauled away. If you got one, raise one to John Prine. Thanks. I'm going to close things out here by playing about 13 Billy Joel songs now. I think that was well advertised on the website, so no complaining. Show's really kind of coming full circle here with me in this seat, wouldn't you say? Here's my rendition of Uptown Girl. You see the moon in the midnight as you put it on a 35 south. You got a lot upon your mind tonight, and so you took a ride to figure it out. The years went by like strangers that you might have recognized if they didn't walk away into the waiting night. Don't back down yet, it'll get brighter. Stand your ground like a veteran fighter. Grip that wheel just a little bit tighter now. No, don't back down yet, it'll get brighter. Stand your ground like a veteran fighter. Grip that wheel just a little bit tighter now. You see your baby in the stars tonight as you pull it on the 35 south. You know she wonders where you are tonight and whether you could ever turn it around. Been a while since you could hold her hand. She's so kind, she smiles and says she understands. Don't back down yet, it'll get brighter. Stand your ground like a veteran fighter. Grip that wheel just a little bit tighter now. No, don't back down yet, it'll get brighter. Stand your ground like a veteran fighter. Grip that wheel just a little bit tighter now. Don't back down yet, it'll get brighter. Stand your ground like a veteran fighter. Grip that wheel just a little bit tighter now. No, don't back down yet, it'll get brighter. Stand your ground like a veteran fighter. Grip that wheel just a little bit tighter now. All right. Thank you. Didn't know it went that low. Are there any songs you'd like to hear tonight of mine that you haven't heard that you'd like to hear before the end of the concert? You got it?
All the rest of them.
What's that?
All the rest of them.
All the rest of them. All right, you got it. I know Sam Stone. Would you like to hear Sam Stone?
Yeah.
Would you guys like to hear another John Prine song? That was kind of like a very, everyone was like, yeah, all right. I'll play it for you in a moment.
I have that as a number, that's the single greatest song ever written.
That's the single greatest song ever written.
In my opinion, absolutely.
It's up there. Well, now that you said that, we got to play it. So this is So John Prine's first album, that tune that I played off there, Paradise, it's off his self-titled album. And what happens to a lot of artists is they come so hard with their first album that they never really like reach it again. And I don't know that that happened with John Prine, because he had a lot of great records after that. But if it did happen, it's only because that record, it's him sitting on a hay bale, it's self-titled. It is cover to cover. Everyone's a banger, man. Everyone is so good. Every song is so good. It has Hello in there, Hello. It opens with Illegal Smile. It's just a beautiful record. And the song this gentleman is referencing, Sam Stone, is the beating heart of this record. And hope I'm not talking too much here. I'm a big Prine enthusiast. Just kind of turned into like a John Prine appreciation night. It was supposed to be a Billy Joel cover thing, but here we go. So the story is, the very quick thing on John Prine is he was a mailman in Chicago, and he was playing like the local clubs. And back in the day, you couldn't self-publish, obviously. You couldn't publish to the web. You needed a record label. And he'd been playing in clubs around town, and none other than Chris Christopherson came to town and to play his own gig. And Christopherson was already famous at that point. And someone appealed to Chris Christopherson. They said, there's this mailman you got to hear. And he's like, all right. So he goes to the club where Prine was playing. I think it was called the Earl. And he goes to the club, and Prine had finished his gig. And the waitresses are putting, the seats back on the tables. And he asked John Prine to play one song for him. And John Prine played this song for him right here. And when he finished, Christopherson said, can you play it again? And then Christopherson got him a record deal with Atlantic Records, and that's how we ended up with that masterpiece of American music. So this is the song that Chris Christopherson wanted to hear again. Sam Stone came home to his wife and family after serving in the conflict overseas. And the time that he served had shattered all his nerves and left a little shrapnel in his knee. But the morphine eased the pain, and the grass grew around his brain and gave him all the confidence he lacked. With a purple heart and a monkey on his back, there's a hole in Daddy's arm where all the money goes. Jesus Christ died for nothing, I suppose. Little pitchers have big ears, don't stop to count the years. Sweet songs never last too long, broken radios. Sam Stone's welcome home didn't last too long. He went to work after he spent his last dime, and Sammy took to stealing when he got that empty feeling for $100 habit on overtime. And the gold ran through his veins like 1,000 railroad trains, and eased his mind in the hours that he chose, while the kids ran around wearing other people's clothes. There's a hole in Daddy's arm where all the money goes. Jesus Christ died for nothing, I suppose. Little pitchers have big ears, don't stop to count the years. Sweet songs never last too long, broken radios. Armstrong was alone when he popped his last balloon, climbing walls while sitting in his chair. Well, he played his last request while the room smelled just like death, with an overdose hovering in the air. Oh, but life had lost its fun. There was nothing to be done except trade in the house that he bought on the GI Bill for a flag draped casket on a local hero's hill. There's a hole in Daddy's arm where all the money goes. Jesus Christ died for nothing, I suppose. Little pitchers have big ears, don't stop to count the years. Sad songs never last too long on broken radios. Raise another one for John Prine. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Thanks to Fogartyville for having me. Thanks to Kip Kelly for opening the show. And I've come to know the wish list of my father. I've come to know the shipwrecks where he wished. I've come to wish aloud among the overdressed crowd. Come to witness now the sinking of the ship, throwing pennies from the sea top next to it. And I've come to roam the forest past the village with a dozen lazy horses in my cart. I've come here to get high, to do more than just get by. I've come to test the timber of my heart. Oh, I've come to test the timber of my heart. And I have come to be untroubled in my seeking. And I have come to see that nothing is for naught. I've come to reach out blind, to reach forward and behind. For the more I seek, the more I'm sought. Yeah, the more I seek, the more I'm sought. And I've come to meet the sheriff and his posse, to offer him the broadside of my jaw. I've come here to get broke, and then maybe by my smoke we'll go drinking 2 towns over after all. We'll go drinking 2 towns over after all. And I've come to meet the legendary takers. I've only come to ask them for a lot. They say I've come with less than I should rightfully possess. I say the more I buy, the more I'm bought. And the more I'm bought, the less I cost. I have come to take their servants and their surplus. I have come to take their raincoats and their speed. I've come to get my fill, to ransack and spill. I've come to trade the harvest for the seed. Oh, I've come to trade the harvest for the seed.
And I've come to know the manger that you sleep in. I have come to be the stranger that you keep. I've come from down the road, and my footsteps never slowed. Before we met, I knew we'd meet. Oh, before we met, I knew we'd meet. I've come here to ignore your cries and heartaches. I've come to closely listen to you sing. I've come here to insist that I leave here with a kiss. I've come to say exactly what I mean, and I mean so many things. And you've come to know me stubborn as a butcher. And you've come to know me thankless as a guest. But will you recognize my face when God's awful grace strips me of my jacket and my vest and reveals all the treasure in my chest? Thank you so much. You guys have been a lovely audience. Thanks to Fogartyville. Thanks to Kip Kelly. We'll see you next time. Thank you very much.
I like to
hotels got bathroom telephones, but I don't wanna interrupt you. You might be painting your nails with your hot curlers on, each one a different color, or listening to that Beach Boys sailing song. Sloop John B. or another. Ethelene, my Ethelene, my love for you is just obscene. My dear, you dress, my fish you clean, but you are nowhere to be seen, my Ethelene. Now you could bag your limit with a bow and arrow. Yeah, you could skin a cougar in the dark. Well, I thought we were walking down the straight and narrow. How'd we ever drift so far apart? I put 18 wheels on this road to nowhere, and you disappeared right up in the hills. Like smoke up a chimney, girl, I go there. Yeah, in my dreams I visit you still. Ethelene, my Ethelene, my love for you is just obscene. My dear, you dress, my fish you clean, but you are nowhere to be seen, my Ethelene. Oh, good girl. Oh, yeah, high tech. Now some men will drive to the edges of nothing, so they can take a peek at the great abyss. Some men avoid love like it was a plague or something, so they can leave the seat down when they piss. I miss that crochet thing you kept on the Kleenex box. I miss my feet on the cold linoleum floor, sipping hot coffee after making love till daybreak. But Ethelene, a fool would ask for more. Ethelene, my Ethelene, my love for you is just obscene. My dear, you dress, my fish you clean, but you are nowhere to be seen. My Ethelene, my Ethelene, my love for you is just obscene. My dear, you dress, my fish you clean, but you are nowhere to be seen. My Ethelene, my Ethelene, my Ethelene.
Drinking dens are spilling out and staggering in a square. There's lads' glasses falling about and a crackling in the air. Down around the dungeon doors, the shutters and the queues. Everybody's looking for somebody's arms to fall into. It's what it is. It's what it is now. Yeah, there's frost on the graves and the monuments, but the taverns are warm in town. People curse the government and shovel hard food down. Lights are out in City Hall, the castle and the keep. The moon shines down upon it all, the legless and the sleepless. Cold on the toll gate where the wagons creeping through. Cold on the toll gate, God knows what I could do for you. That's what it is. Jefferson sleeps in the citadel with a ghost in the ancient stones. High on the parapet, a Scottish piper stands alone. And high on the wind, the Highland drums begin to roll. Something from the past just comes and stares into my soul. Cold on a toll gate with a Caledonian moon. Cold on a toll gate, God knows what I can do with you. That's what it is. That's what it is now. What it is. That's what it is now. There's a chink of light, there's a burning wick, there's a lantern in the tower. Wee Willie Winky with a candlestick still writing songs in a wee wee house on Charlotte Street. I take a walking stick from my hotel. The ghost of Dirty Dick is still in search of Little Nell. That's what it is. It's what it is now.